Howdy, howdy, everyone. I'll give everyone a couple minutes to come in because we are semi late. Usually I try to have this going by 9, but I had to run around and get a P.O. box started. So, yay, I do have a P.O. box. I am semi functional as a human being, and I was able to go to the post office and get that started. So, I did put that up in community notes and I changed my, oh, description thingy to have that in. Look, I have done all I can. I even screenshotted so I'll remember the damn post number because y'all know me. Numbers, remembering all the things, not my biggest strong suit anymore, but I used to could remember things. And yes, I do. This is live. Generally, I have tried to target this for 9 o'clock, but I had to go to the post office today and they don't open till 8:30. And then my town has decided to have a bunch of one-way streets to make you do a left, and a left, or a right and a right and a right to get anywhere because freaking I don't know. I wasn't in charge of state planning. Had I been, I'm sure it would have been much more convoluted, to be very honest with you. It would have been. But good morning, reindeer, and Kim, and everyone. So we have a lot of stuff. I'm sure you guys are shocked, but we have first a story that I think my youngest, most feral would probably do. In fact, I'm quite sure he would have done. So, uh, from the New York Post, and I am trying to diversify my I I have Murdaugh on there. As a pre-law person, I don't understand the exact intricacies, but I do have Murdaugh on here, so I will read the article. Do I understand exactly? And I did not watch the, streams, so I was kind of in and out yesterday trying to figure some things out. Mr. Mo has promised to focus on, getting the tripod figured out. He has to jigsaw something or other. He has to use power tools for some reason. I am not allowed to use the power tools, obviously, because, um okay, the one time I used his drill, apparently you're supposed to get a bigger bit and not use a smaller bit and go up and down, so I am no longer allowed to use his power tools. I How was I to know you're not supposed to go up and down to make the hole embiggened? You'd think that they'd, like, put that on, like, the label or something. Also, Jared Leto, what are you doing, you incredibly insane person? Yes, but I figured this would be, my kid. My five-year-old bought $1,000 in toys, a $500 hot tub on Amazon using Alexa. This is parents why I turn off and, block Alexa from, all devices and Siri, and when we went to the Airbnb with my mother, we unplugged all of the Alexas in the joint before, even going any further. Now we did plug them back in before we left. I mean, we're not monsters. However, this little shopper is a big spender. A monster truck that jumps 23 inches off the ground, 112 water slides, and a $500 hot tub were just a few of the luxuries a five-year-old boy treated himself to while making a series of unauthorized purchases totaling $1,000 on an Amazon on Amazon via its virtual assistant technology, Alexa. Yeah, Alexa and Siri are like those biddies that, got freaking, Thomas Rudolph or freaking back in jail. Seriously, I turn that crap off. Although it does help sometimes. Look, my youngest, most feral, will ask you 875 questions like, "What is 75 times 75?" Or "How many seconds are in a day?" And I'm like, "Look, this is not Rent. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't listen to the song. I don't know how many minutes are in a day. I can't tell you." I can't tell you, I didn't listen to it. I think everyone dies in that musical of AIDS, I'm pretty sure, because they're all sharing needles and doing all the smexy things together. I don't know. It's a horribly depressing play. I read the cliff notes and decided I wasn't gonna listen to a musical about everyone dying of AIDS. And then South Park made fun of it, and then I was like, "Well, if South Park made fun of it with puppets, why am I gonna go see the real one?" Alexa, add 45 kid Spider-Man walkie-talkies to my cart. Now, I feel like if you're a parent, and Mr. Mo had this talk with me yesterday because I ordered 2 cat trees and with donation money because I found the one he liked, and then there was one that I kinda liked, and it was on a big sale because of extra Labor Day stuff or something, I don't know, maybe they had too many. But he, that's it, I'm sending all random feral youngest child questions to Twisted Bunny, forwarding all questions of feral child to Twisted Bunny. He will appreciate that. You have become my child's new Siri. Congratulations, early Festivus gift to Twisted Bunny. Will inform him on Discord. But I feel like Amazon generally, like, tells you things. Usually, they're like, "Hey, there's a $1,000 charge on your Amazon account. Is this you?" Or, my husband has our credit, locked at a certain point, so they'll call, say, "Hey, are you at Best Buy right now?" Because we had a couple people trying to use our credit at Dolce& and Gabbana or some high-end place, and he called me one day and he said, "Are you at, yeah, Dolce& and Gabbana?" And I was like, "Do I look like I know what that place is?" Also, now if I was at the Sailor Moon Emporium in Japan, that's where I'd be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Also, we don't wanna we don't wanna stop those charges." Uh, yeah, per trending audio footage. So apparently it's all recorded and it took him 2 hours? Okay, seriously. He added a hot tub, continued the kid before giving the bot directive, "Give me a lazy river that's 45 feet around." What in Okay, so this is the little boy. Oh, this mom, and what the actual crap? Again, this is my thing though. Amazon will call you. "Hello, Christine. Amazon will call you," but Botman, a married father of 3 from Utah, apparently managed to not lose his marbles upon discovering his little one's big buy. Instead, the guy seemed to find his son's unsupervised shopping spree amusing. Quote, "It was quite entertaining to go through the little more than 2 hours of dialogue he had with Alexa," the dad wrote in the captions of his viral video. Botman was not immediately available to respond to the post request for comment. Um, yeah, he better get refunded for all of this. Amazon's pretty cool with, you know, returns. I can imagine that all of this stuff got refunded. A hot tub for seriousness. Oh my gosh. Just turn off. Oh, there were choices made in this show. Why? There were choices made with this outfit, and they were all his wife's. And that's how you know he'll never cheat. And I'm a horrible person. And this might be a great time to segue into my little story time as promised on Twitter about 3 seconds before I was supposed to start, but I do have a little story time. So today when I was getting gas right after dropping off, middle son and most feral son at, Bible school slash, tabernacle, the, very Christian school, I had to stop and get gas and pop, so that I could fuel my day with caffeine. And who do I happen to see getting gas and texting? I'm going to go ahead and assume her LuLaRoe dealer, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. None other than the "See you next Tuesday" principal of my son's old school. Now, I was faced with a dilemma. I am a stone's throw, and I do mean a stone's throw away from the uber Christian school that my sons now go to, full of uber Christian people that are still milling around. And I cannot yell the C word and or get into a physical altercation at a gas station in front of the people. And I'm supposed to be turning the other cheek and, being all saved and crap too, that Christian stuff that I'm supposed to be doing, like, because I'm supposed to be Christian too. I'm not good at it. Look, y'all, not go to Steve Gosney. He's a better example, like I've already done told you. Not a good one. So, I assume she's on, you know, the texting her LuLaRoe dealer, probably figuring out another parent to harass, whatever witches do on the off season. I have no idea. While fueling up her Rubicon, I don't know. And I'm sitting here in my car trying to keep my salvation and or figuring out if I should or should not call her a "see you next Tuesday" out loud in public, and or just ignore her and pretend to be regal, and if I have it within me to ignore her and be regal and, not shout the C word. Well, as I'm contemplating this, she leaves. What the actual for the love of all that is holy. Yeah, so apparently my internal conflict with myself took long enough that she left. So salvation's still there, and apparently my internal monologue is long enough that I'm still saved and I didn't use the C word out in public. So early Festivus salvation gift to me, and good morning, Jamie and Bobby Baloney. So that is my little story time for you guys today. I did see the random, okay, let's see, butt baloney. No, let's see. What is butt munch principle out in public? But I stayed in my car and I reined in my feelings. So I practiced self-control like I tell my children and only thought mean things about her and then told the internet about them. So really, I'm doing very well with my self-control. Sorry, sorry, Bobby. Baloney was the last thing I saw. I'm very sorry. So the first story is a kid getting really, well, wild with his Amazon or his parents' Amazon accounts, but that's not really the, greatest story. Next, we have stop screen, present. We have, let me see if I can pull it up and actually be functional. Okay, come on now. Maryland cop caught kissing. Let me see if I can pull this up.
Hey, yo.
Okay, no, I
Date,
want you to
man,
be
date.
indignant. Why are you
Hey,
not
yo.
indignating? Sirs, I want you to, sorry, it's being a pain in my actual tuchus. It's saying full screen. You're seeing it saying full screen, but it is not. I hate you, New York Times. Oh, you suck so many ball sacks, you New York Times. This is where you come for professional news. I know you're shocked. All the professional news on Mornings with Mo. Maryland cop caught kissing scantily clad woman before climbing into the back of a squad car. I mean, I know the fact that this was caught on tape is shocking, but are we saying that we're shocked that this has actually happened? No, I don't wanna hear any more of you. Stop. Are we saying that this is the first cop that has used his car? I'm looking into that. I have to have Mr. Mo. If Sal, if you know of one, I know I wanna be a cop now too, but for different reasons. I would actually pick the taser, I'm pretty sure for most people, allegedly. Thank you, Sal. This is how this really works. I get, help from others. A Maryland police officer with a checkered past has been suspended after he was filmed giving a scantily clad woman a steamy kiss before joining her in the back of his squad car. Maybe they were, yeah, X to doubt if he's the first cop to do that. No cop has ever met his, significant other or an informant or a lady of payable pleasure, in the back of his squad car or, um, even a person of the same squad car, you know. Yeah, definitely first cop ever in history. Only in Maryland, never happened before in ever. The Prince George's County Police Department confirmed on Tuesday that one of its officers was involved in the now viral video and said it is looking into the circumstances of the clip. The department identified, excuse me, the officer as Francesco Marlet, who was suspended in 2016 over allegations he beat a 3-year-old unconscious. FFS, why is this? I mean, I understand their allegations, but, mm, quote, "His police powers are now suspended as the investigation continues," the department tweeted Tuesday evening after previously announcing an investigation had been launched into the video. In the salacious clip posted to Instagram and TikTok, the officer with a shaved head gives a lengthy, passionate smooch to a woman wearing a tiny dress while aggressively grabbing her behind. Well, we didn't get to see the aggressive grabbing of her behind. I really feel like we needed a couple angles. I mean, oh, well, we've got the angles. Never mind. Ask and ye shall receive. It really is a biblical day. Maybe he's trying out for OnlyFans. Maybe a cop doesn't pay that much. Yeah, that's a really serious allegation. I wanna know about the 3-year-old. I know. FFS. I have gotten in more trouble than these cops for, like again, I want to know why the long arm of, Uncle Sam seems to be more in trouble with Mo than half of these damn people. For cereal, like, did I make did I have I been making too much fun of Al Gore here lately with Man Bear Pig? Swear to God. Okay, fine, Al Gore, you invented the internet. I totally believe you. Can you leave me the hell alone now? That's a dress? I thought it was a romper, but okay. With his arm wrapped around her shoulder, the uniformed officer then walked her around to the back of his squad car and helped her inside. Well, maybe he's just trying to do a very peaceful arrest. We have been trying to he's just trying to help relations with police officers. He has an hourglass figure, look at those hips. Like, oh my god. Um, the officer then slid alongside the woman he just wanted to make sure her seatbelt was on. I mean, he was trying to watch for her safety. The men filming the interaction could be speaking back and forth in Spanish, one seeming to call the officer an animal, the other crying, "Look, I'm not gonna get a hate crime trying to redo this." Johnny Sins walling on the job, the caption read, referring to the famously bald porn star. Well, there you go. Again, he's just making sure she got into the car okay, she watched the head and then, got her seatbelt on. Also, don't those lock from the outside? So, aren't they both locked in? I saw Super Troopers, but that might have been a little bit, changed for comedy, but I watched Super Troopers. Oh, well, Old Line Red, I'm sure this was, yeah, well, look, I had my last story about Indiana was a big dog fighting Fed sting, so, Sal, that is true. There were things to hide with that, and it was a court it was his it was their court skirt. You guys, number of the kids could be heard play a number of kids could be heard playing in the playground nearby, and at one point, several ran through the frame. The video appeared to be filmed at Carson Park, right next door to Oxon okay, I'm Hill High School, according to ABC. Again, with the high school, can't you pick, like, a deserted road? You are a cop. You should know all the places to hide where things are going. Seriously, like, you should know all the places where deals could happen that people might could not see. I mean, far be it from me to give, you, the police officer, ideas about where to commit a possible tryst with a woman of possible payable pleasure or your girlfriend or your side piece or your wife or whomever, but maybe not in a schoolyard. Like, sir, look, if y'all want to spice things up, possibly not where you're going to be filmed. Again, in 2016, Marlette was suspended without pay after he was indicted for second-degree child abuse for allegedly beating his girlfriend's child. Again, why is this man still on the police force? I feel like that I really could give 2 craps about this whole kissing a woman, and, I mean, I understand it's a bad look, don't get me wrong, but this girlfriend's child thing is much more important to me. He was watching the child as his girlfriend cooked dinner, and when the boy wet the bed, Marlette allegedly spanked him until his head hit the wall and he lost consciousness. It remains unclear what the relationship between Marlette and the woman was. Swear to all the saints that I have forgotten from catechism class, but if that woman is the same woman from this earlier incident and she stayed with this man, I lose all faith in humanity. I lose all faith in humanity, and I I give up. I give up and let Planet of the Apes happen. We have given up our rights for humanity and let the apes start ruling the world because we are done for as a species. Quote, "The circumstances are in the video," one woman deadpanned in response to the police department's tweet. So, yeah, we are, interesting. I just read Joy Bear's, fire back after the View co-host called out her harsh personality, and she responded, "What is this, a gangbang?" That might be on tomorrow's Mo because I hate The View. I know you're shocked, but screeching women? Yeah, I'm just saying maybe we've had our chance if the same woman. Yeah. No, they're both terrible. I mean, this guy shouldn't be a cop regardless. He seems to have no ability to have self-control, and he's proven it several times, so he obviously doesn't need to be in a position of power. But let's go to something, well, not better, but at least we have some answers about our dearly departed, but lovely stop. I do need to get that ad blocker. Bob Barker's cause of death. Yes. Again, seriously, we have, like, a bajillion and 12 rural areas. It really yeah, Old Line Red, I mean, he probably knows all of Prince George's County, backwoods hillbilly distillery places. No offense to anyone who lives there, I love hillbillies. They are the most awesome people, they will tell you exactly what they think. they don't put on airs, they don't care. They're the nicest, most giving people you'll ever think. Th and they're just kind. Well, I'm trying, but there's a lot of stuff. I wanna get to the Murdaugh motion, and then there's news in, the BT Killer stuff. I will try to have more feel goods, throughout the day. I do have a doctor's appointment, and I have figured out the case that I wanted you guys to see, um, that I wanted to run through this week. Now, it is sort of not a feel good, but you will see a prosecutor absolutely lose her ever living shit, which well, I mean, the Jonas Brothers breaking up, I mean, that's gonna feel good. I mean, he's shorter than her, and I feel like that breaks the natural order of everything, so I will try to find some feel-good stories. I saw a couple of them, I didn't realize that I had gone somewhat dark with this. I will find feel-good stories. The feel-good story is I didn't get arrested for calling a woman a cunt. That's the feel-good story. I practice self-control. Bob Barker's death was a result of his battle with Alzheimer's disease, according to TMZ. Now, TMZ is about as reliable as, well, Paris Hilton joining Mensa, so we'll take it with a grain of salt until, someone else says something, but possibly he had Alzheimer's, but he was also 99, so, it could be that he was or was not diagnosed with Alzheimer's. While it's unclear when Barker was first diagnosed, his death certificate indicates that his passing came years after his Alzheimer's began, according to the outlet. However, the legendary game show host notably teamed up with PETA in 2013 for a campaign which highlighted how a vegetarian diet eat steak, y'all. Eat steak. Steak is awesome. Steak, your brain runs on protein. In fact, that's how we became giant what is it? One of my favorite YouTubers calls us basically chemical anxiety machines. But yeah, the infusion of meat allowed our brains to grow big and strong and allowed us to become the anxiety-riddled, crazy brain people that we are now. So, eat meat, but if you wanna be a vegetarian, just get protein in there. I don't know. This is not a dietary advice thing. However, do spay and neuter your parents. Well, look, my children do agree, spay and neuter your parents. We both got spayed and neutered, but also your pets. Do that. And it was an update from over a week ago. So I loved Bob Barker. I don't know if you're like me, but whenever you were sick and you had to stay home, it was Ricky Lake, it was Sally Jessica Raphael, and then it was Bob Barker. So, this man made a lot of sick days okay. You might have had a bucket in front of you, you might have had ginger ale, you might have had those saltine crackers, but you are always rooting for the guy that bid that $1 bill, and then you were surprised you didn't know the price of, well, anything. And then Phil Donahue would come on, and you're like, "Oh my god, this is boring." Or the soaps, and you're like, "I don't know anything about this." Quote, "It is with profound sadness that we announce the world's greatest MC who ever lived, Bob Barker, has left us," his rep told us. A spokesperson for CBS added, "In addition to his successful decades-long career, Barker will be remembered as a dedicated animal rights activist. Daytime television has lost one of its most iconic stars." So, yeah, I mean, he was awesome. I remember just every day I was sick watching him and the crazy people who would go all out and get on this thing and, you know, the weird people who had no idea what stuff cost. I don't know if their mom always shopped for them, but it was always awesome. I loved it. He always reminded you to spay and neuter your pets. He was just so fun. He seemed like a nice guy. And then, of course, he was on Happy Gilmore. I mean, any guy who can have fun with Adam Sandler is awesome, and he will be missed. Again, as I did with the Kobe rant, I am kind of weirded out by people who get overly emotional when, uh, celebrities that they had no real connection with died. So, people like Letitia Stalk who, like, started crying when Kobe died, and they have no real emotional connection with them. So I'm sad. However, I do promise when Kevin Spacey kicks this mortal coil, I will have a birthday cake and sparklers and possibly, like, songs. I don't know. I know, best line ever. I might watch Happy Gilmore today. I don't or this evening. I might make oh, well, no, Mr. Mo goes to actual Bible study. Look, Mr. Mo is a much better a much better oh my gosh. I might need to get another puppy. Don't tell Mr. Mo, because I keep thinking that, Frybert would do much better on a walk if he had a friend. But, Mr. Mo has already begrudgingly let me have Frybert, and I think that, Frybert's brother would kill him. So, this is just a temporary thought right now, and he would probably move. So good morning, Paige. So, again, Bob Barker was awesome. F in the chat for this great man who kept us company on our sick days when our moms had to go work. You know, all of us latchkey kids who are allowed to stay home, all of us in this generation where we came home with latchkey kids, cooked for ourselves, us old G's who, came home, cooked ourselves first dinner, then mom came home and cooked us second dinner, and we took care of ourselves. We salute you, sir, and may you have all the puppies and kittens that, you want and have fun up there with Jimmy Buffett. So, in the next bit of news, new BTK stuff. So, this popped up and for the love of all that is advertisements, I don't care. So this popped up. A woman shown bound and gagged in BTK's serial killer's sick drawings may have been ID'd. So, yeah, because, I'm not already busy. Oh, the eyebrows on this man. Apparently, they don't have barbers in the prisons or they just won't serve him. Yeah, me too. But on bad like, today it's raining and my leg is not having a good day, so I think Fry is also tired, so he's kinda just hanging out sleeping, so I am not too upset about it, but I'm afraid that if I get another puppy, then they'll do they'll go into full on crazy mode. Or they might keep each other company. I'm not quite sure, but I have a feeling that it will either be great or a horrible idea because I seem to have gotten the equivalent of the Griffin puppy because when he is full on feral Griffin mode for the most part. Sick, newly released drawings by BTK serial killer Dennis Rader show a series of terrified, bound, and gagged women, and cops think they might have identified at least one of them as a known missing woman. The disturbing images were released as part of a major new drive to examine possible cold cases tied to the alien 78-year-old who dubbed himself BTK for Bind, Torture, Killed. Now, this is interesting because I had not really heard about any sort of new developments in the BTK case. And since my mother's family was kind of around the Wichita area around the time, and my aunt was actually studying criminal justice around the time in the same university and said that the university and the criminal justice, department at that time was full of retired cops, and they were actually all pretty sketch from what she said. It's very it was kind of very close to home, so I'm shocked that this hasn't been more widely known or they've been able to keep this kind of close to the vest and it hasn't been more widely publicized that this was an ongoing investigation. 2 sketches show women, including one in a short red dress or blouse, bound with a noose hung around their neck. The third shows a blonde staring with clear fear in her eyes, with her arms and leg bound in rope and a red gag in her mouth. That woman, wearing a green top, is thought to have been identified as a Southeast Kansas woman who vanished in 1991, Osage County Sheriff Eddie Viren told CNN. So I the fact that he started sending different, like yeah, I'm glad that people have been working on getting peace for these families. It's what he did to the Otero family and what happened to that family after was horrific, and I'm glad they got justice. The I may have to do a video um, of his recitation of his ridiculousness one day. Yeah, douchey McDouche face. W I don't know. The moron who the floppy disk the floppy disk bumbler or something, the metadata ding dong. I I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to, um, get further in the story. While Verdon could not disclose additional details about her identity, he told the outlet his team had, quote, "very, very good tips regarding the drawing and potential victims." It's going to be a very busy week, Verdon said the flow of tips have, quote, "provided more information." Rader was sentenced to life in prison in 2005 for a series of 10 grisly murders which terrorized Wichita, Kansas for over 2 decades. Ugh, he's just such a horrible. Yeah, I do worry for her. I hope that she's getting as much as I am coming around to the idea that therapy is a thing that is necessary and something that I'm going to have to do. I do know that, and I do hope that she is getting help that she needs because it can't be easy to come to the realization that the dad that she knew was an illusion or at least part of the mask that he wore to hide who he really was. Uh, there are some disturbing things in his childhood that he was doing. It Yeah, there were just a lot of really weird things about this guy, and the sad thing is that according to a lot of the books that I've read, a lot of the things that I've looked into, he had a fairly good childhood. He had a fairly normal childhood. He wasn't, the kind of trifecta cocktail, child abuse, head trauma, uh, bad touch abuse, that kind of really trifecta of bad things that can happen to a child that really sort of put them on a path. He had none of that. It seemed like he had a fairly normal childhood, and he was just almost born to be kind of a monster, unfortunately. Like, he started doing very odd things. Um, yeah, yeah. Sal, maybe we'll just do a group Skype one. The therapist will have to retire after she talks to both of us. She'll be like, "No, thank you. I'm done with therapy. We give up." It's it's not a fun thing to do. There's a lot to unpack and some people find it very easy to talk about things, and then there's people like me that have, taken their trauma and they put it in a little box, and they've put that box into a gun safe, and they've taken cement and they've put that over it, and that gun safe has been buried, and then they put nice new sod over it, and there's a nice, beautiful, new condominium over there. There's a playground, and really, do we really wanna bring that up? I mean, there's a nice playground over there, there's a condominium. If we dig that up, we're going to have to remove a lot of things that have already, been set up. My husband is like, "You are the weirdest person I have ever met." And I was like, "I know, but you married me. You're stuck. You get custody of all 6 kids if I leave." Yes, he is a major booger face. The newly released drawings are among hundreds secreted away in the suburban dad of two's possession at the time of his arrest, CNN explained. The 3 images were released in hopes someone might recognize the scenes thought to be in barns or silos. Virden said, quote, "We are hoping that releasing these, someone might recognize one of these barns or the unique features in them or closeness of the silos to the barns, or possibly might have even found items they didn't know why they were there or could possibly be important to the case," Virden told CNN. Okay, that makes more sense. I was wondering who gave BTK, like, art supplies in freaking, um Yeah, yeah, well, because 'cause they'll make you actually work on stuff and, like, progress and deal with things, you know, versus, like, making a joke and just not dealing with it. And then, you guys, I am going to have to cut this short because I have to go to my doctor's appointment. So, I will come back to do more Mornings with Mo, and I remembered the name of the case that we are going to look at. It is the Dylan Groves case, and I will warn you, it is a a child abuse case. It does involve a baby, it does involve parents who are addicted to drugs. It is not a fun case, but you do get to see the prosecutor lose her ever living shit on this POS mother, and it devolves into a screaming match, and I am here for it. She reads them for absolute filth, and it shows cases DCF being absolute morons, and, it highlights the broken system. And I'm not always one to bring these cases up, but while we have some time this week, we can bring it up. And it's definitely one that I think we can speed through it a lot and definitely mostly just see the prosecutor lose her ever living mind on this piece of trash mother. She is just a trash human being. She is convicted, so I can say that. Thank you for joining me with Mornings with Mo. I'm sorry this was actually late and truncated, but I will see you all later. And I did get a PO box. It is in community notes. And when they come in, I will show you, well, I will show Mr. Mo putting together the cat trees because again, I am not allowed to put things together after the IKEA bench that can hold nothing and was um cattywampus, but I tried, and I deserve a gold star. Have a good day, guys. I will be back in a little bit. See you later.